Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Good morning Mrs. Nikmatuni Ayah. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Rizka Amalia Ramadhanti from Accountancy, Study Program Diploma Accounting. Today, I am going to present my proposal of final project with title The Application of Job Order Costing System in Calculating the Cost of Goods Manufactured at PTX. I divide my presentation into 6 parts. First, introduction. Second, literature review. Third, formulation of the problem. Fourth, purpose of the research. Fifth, benefit of the research. And sixth, research methodology. As you know, every company needs to calculate the cost of goods manufactured accurately. Without it, the company will have problems determining the price of a product. To achieve an optimum profit, the price and the realization of production costs have a big influence in competition with similar companies. The cost incurred for processing raw materials into finished materials will be the basis for determining the cost of goods manufactured. These cost elements are grouped into 3 major categories, namely raw materials usage costs, direct labor costs, and overhead costs. The 3 major categories must be classified according to the type, nature, and behavior of these costs to make it easier for companies to overcome uncertainties in the cost of goods manufactured and to find out the actual cost that the company spends to produce the goods. In financial reports, especially those related to production costs, carefulness and detail is very necessary so there is no waste of cost in the production process, so that management has a strong basis for determining the cost of goods manufactured, which is the largest part of the cost incurred by the company and the basis for determining the right price of the good to consumer. The calculation of the cost of production is determined by how the company is producing. The use of the right information can direct the company to find the right and competitive price in its competition with other similar companies. There are many different opinions in defining the cost of goods manufactured. Mulyadi in 2014 defined the cost of goods manufactured is the cost incurred in managing raw materials into products. The cost of goods manufactured, or also known as the cost of goods sold, is the sacrifice of economic resources measured in units of money that has occurred or is likely to occur to obtain income. The COGM, or the production cost, classified into 3 components. Like I said before, the 3 components are 1. Direct material or raw material usage costs, 2. Direct labor costs, and 3. Overhead costs. Next is formulation of the problem. 1. How to calculate the cost of goods manufactured using job order costing system at PTX. 2. What cost components are used in determining the cost of goods manufactured at PTX? And 3. How much the price of the product per unit so the company will achieve the profit target? And then the purpose of the research is 1. Knowing the calculation of the cost of goods manufactured using job order costing system at PTX. 2. Is knowing the cost component used in determining the cost of goods manufactured at PTX. And 3. Is helping the companies set selling price according to profit target. Next is benefit of the research. With this final project, I hope to increase knowledge, insight, and implement the theory of cost of goods manufactured by practicing it directly in the research location. Also, in addition to information and references regarding to the cost of goods manufactured, it provides the cost of production for further research and becomes additional information that helps companies determine the cost of production so that they can determine the price according to the goods they produce. The last is research methodology. I divide the research methodology into 2 methods. One is data collection method, and two is writing method. Data collection method contain interview method and documentary method. For interview method, in the process of compiling this final project, I will use verbal question and answer regarding the history of the company and its operational activities as well as the data I need. And with documentary method, I will use the method in the form of company-owned data about the products produced and ordered during the month at PTX. Writing method contain descriptive method and exposure method. I will use descriptive method to describe the general description of PTX, and I will use exposure method to provide an explanation regarding the calculation of the cost of goods manufactured by PTX. That brings me to the end of my presentation. It was my pleasure talking to you about my final project. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.